Hello one and all, welcome to Seen Through Glass. Welcome to a baking hot day in the south of France. Now you might have seen I got behind the wheel of the Lee Collection's Mansory Viver Bugatti Veyron. It was an unbelievably special moment and quite an eye-opening experience. But on that day, the Lee Collection also had their Aston Martin V12 Speedster with them. There it is, behind me. On that day, I just kept looking in my rearview mirror going, that's such a pretty car. And I'm yet to experience any of the kind of open cockpit supercars, the Ferrari Monza, the McLaren Mercedes SLR Sterling Moss, the McLaren Elva, or yes, the Aston Martin V12 Speedster. And I'm so intrigued as to what they must be like, because in my mind, this is a lot of wind in your face. So yes, before the Lee Collection leave town, I begged them to bring this car back out to the hills so I could have a quick go. This is going to be kind of like a bit of a one take. I'm actually going to do it as a point of view video. We're up here now. We've got about, well, half an hour to get back down into town, which I think seems plenty when you've got a V12 Aston Martin Speedster. Now, with all the travel I've been doing recently, I've been having to upload a lot of content from the road, which means I've really been relying on NordVPN. Now, I'm sure lots of you would have heard me talk about NordVPN before, but just in case you haven't, it's a virtual private network. It ensures your safety and your security when you go online. As you can imagine, I'm endlessly logging on to random Wi-Fi networks in hotels, restaurants, petrol stations, etc. You think of it, if there's a free Wi-Fi network, I'm logging on and uploading content. When I do that, I never know who might be looking at or even trying to steal my information. That's why I have a VPN active on all of my devices. And I've been using NordVPN for like 7 years now. And amazingly, they often support this channel by sponsoring one of my videos, which they are doing today. So thank you, NordVPN. As well as protecting you when you go online, they also allow you to get access to, well, content that maybe you can't usually get access to in your country, especially sport. Yes, I'm here just outside Monaco during the Monaco Grand Prix weekend, but as I explained, I've got a baby. I'm not going to be attending every single session. That would be reckless. So sometimes I'll be back at the Airbnb, changing diapers, but keeping up with all the action using NordVPN to still access the accounts that I have in the UK to watch F1 on my phone. NordVPN offering you an amazing deal if you use my link, nordvpn.com/STG. It's in the description below. Huge thanks to them for continuing to support the channel. For now, let's crack on with the video. Now, in case you've never heard of the Aston Martin V12 Speedster before, it was launched back in 2020, and it's all about celebrating Aston's incredible racing heritage of the 1950s, and specifically the Le Mans winning DBR1. The car gets the DBS's 5.2-litre twin-turbo V12, although with slightly less power, and it sits on its own platform derived from both the DBS and the Vantage. I think you can see a mixture of the two cars in its design. The car's insanely rare. Just 88 were built compared to 250 McLaren Elvas and 500 Ferrari Monzas. Its price tag when new, £765,000, and on the used market today, they're fetching £1 million. So let's go and see what a £1 million roofless and windscreenless Aston Martin is like to drive. Now this is a pretty unique experience. What a cockpit. This is quite mad. Immediately recognisable as an Aston Martin, obviously, but no windscreen, no roof. Absolutely amazing. Just important to note that the Lee Collection 688HS is playing support car for today. I guess let's just fire the car up and into life. Now this, oh wait, key not, who's got the key? You got the key? Thank you so much. We got the key, people. So yeah, important to note, this car actually has a Quicksilver exhaust. Josh from the Lee Collection was telling me that this car was actually kind of too quiet at stock, which probably was to do with, I guess, filters and things like that. Anyway, let's try this again. Start up. There we go. Valve's currently closed. We don't want that, so we're going to siphon through, I guess, to Sport Plus. I think that'll be right, but let's keep the handling loose. Oh, look at this. How cool is that SLR? And look at the colour on that GT2 RS. Right, let's chase them, my God. Okay, we are in first gear. Away we go, give these guys a thumbs up. And yeah, my first experience in one of these Speedster racers, and straight away there is so much wind. I can basically no longer hear the exhaust or anything. except wind. Can you hear me? I sort of doubt you're going to be able to hear me. Whoa. This is a wild experience. It's kind of unnerving not being able to hear anything, because you really got to keep an eye on your revs and things like that, because it's just so much wind noise. The acceleration doesn't almost make sense. Oh. By the way, if you see to the side of me a helmet rolling around, there is sort of permanent home for the helmet in the buttresses, I guess, behind my head. But the guys did warn me that it gets so windy I might want it, so to keep it kind of, well, easy to grab distance. There we go, very nice 911. Yeah, so whilst this has a Quicksilver exhaust, I can't notice that now that we're moving, because it's so windy. God, I can hope you can hear me. What an absolute fail if you can't hear a word I'm saying. But it's kind of ridiculously cool. Oh God, it's so tight this road, I always forget how tight it is. The colour on that 2RS is spectacular, by the way. But look at that, look at the cool visibility that I've got. That's what makes this kind of unique. It feels like a concept car rather than a real deal. Oh my God, oh my God. This is the strangest supercar experience I've ever had. I can't tell whether I like it or whether it's a little bit annoying. At slow speeds, it's amazing, because I've just got loads of visibility. It's this beautiful cabin, I can look out. I feel like it like beats a convertible every day of the week. But the minute you start going fast, well, it's just a lot of wind in your face. I don't know if I like that. Let's try a bit of a launch here. You can hear the big snaps on gear change. It's a rear-wheel drive car, this, so I gotta be a little bit careful once I get used to it. I mean, I'm kind of half waiting for a bee or for a fly to smack me in the face head on, which I'm not looking forward to. It's the ultimate car spotter's car, let's face it like that. I should really be doing a povlog in this, but kind of had that thought a little bit too late, because my God, I'll be able to see everything. It's just totally wild. This rear view mirror isn't quite positioned correctly. There we go. Got that one. I've got a GoPro on the back, so as and when we need it. But yeah, it's just mad. I keep getting flicks of like liquid. I don't even know where they're coming from. But every now and again, I feel a little droplet on my lip, and it's definitely not from the sky. So yeah, all these things I guess you get used to. I mean, it does throw back to the era that I guess Aston Martin are trying to celebrate with this car, when road-going race cars didn't have windscreens or roofs. 1million, Targa Florio, things like that. People would do a full-on race like this. It's quite crazy to think about, actually, because you're battling so many other elements, not just focusing on the road. Driving, it's getting used to the sound, the force of the wind against your face, knocking you, buffeting you. And then, yeah, understanding the car whilst you can't really hear it. By the way, if people look at what people are going to see me right now with this point of view camera on my face, well, it's a unique look. I'm just going to say that. Okay, driving through town, this thing gets so much attention. I actually think maybe more attention than I got when I drove the very one, but it was harder to see out the very one. Maybe you just noticed the attention more. It's obviously a very unique thing to see on the road, but it's also a beautiful car, so I think people are looking for all different kinds of reasons. But yeah, if you're someone who's a bit shy, doesn't like attention in your car, don't get this. Not a good idea. I've taken the camera off my face for a second and turned it around. Just I kind of want to focus on the driving experience. My eyes are watering so much, because even though I've got sunglasses on and this cap, wind is just coming from every direction, and yeah, I can barely see. It's actually quite dangerous, and I've caught up with a load of slow-moving motorbikes, so I'm gonna let them get ahead, because I do want to push on in this thing, because yeah, so far I haven't actually found it that enjoyable. As beautiful as this thing is, as much as I love driving around at slow speeds, the minute you start going fast, I'm just not having a good time. Maybe with the helmet it would be a little bit different, but again, you just lose the noise, you lose the soundtrack. Driving dynamics-wise, it feels very similar to a DBS, or maybe a DB11. I haven't even had. Hey, DB12's out now, isn't it? But yeah, having a chance to kind of push it hard enough to know it's very GT car-like. It's not a whole different car from Aston Martin, but I guess we shouldn't have expected it to be because, well, it's just a beautiful body on an existing model. Right. Let's come out of here, stay close to the wall so we get a bit of the soundtrack, hopefully. Give it a bit of a launch. Right, come on, people. I mean, it's a roller coaster. That's one way to describe it. It's a full-on roller coaster. Yep, I need a glass of water. Wild, wild. Now at slower speeds like this, it is quite an enjoyable experience, just because, well, you can just take in your surroundings, as I was saying earlier. But, you know, the rest of the time, I should have put the helmet on. I should have put the helmet on because that would have helped me figure out if it helps you dial you into the car a little bit more. But yeah, with the short experience I've had, I'm now no longer desperate to experience a Monza or a Sterling Moss. I feel like I kind of figured out what those cars or these cars are all about. It's going to be very similar, isn't it? I think the thing with the Speedster is it's just a bit too soft. You know, it's essentially based on a DBS, I believe. At least it's got that twin turbo V12. The steering's light, oh, nice Lusso. The ride is comfortable. And then you've got this extreme experience of just being buffeted to the wind and exposed to the elements. If this was a GT12 without a roof and a windscreen, I think I'd find it a bit more exciting, a bit more engaging. But because it's all just so nice, it doesn't quite add up. It's a bit too much of a juxtaposition. But yeah, as a way to cruise down into Monaco with views like that, I'm definitely not going to complain. But I'm less fussed than I thought I was going to be. I thought I was going to love this experience for what this car represents, its history, its heritage, the way it looks, the fact that I love Aston Martin. It's got a green leather interior. It's like on paper, tick, tick, tick. But in reality, maybe a little bit silly. Now there is a tunnel coming up here, so I'm going to try and give it one quick blast because we're very nearly back where the lead collection are keeping their cars here before they leave in, oh, well, in about, well, they said 11:30, 12, so we've got 15 minutes or so. Let me just try and back it off. I don't want that moped to come past me again. Come on, car, don't let me down now. Don't let me down. This is your saving moment. Yeah, pretty exciting, pretty exciting. Well, here we are, back in Monaco. Tell you, there's one way to get a really good suntan, or in my case, sunburn. I'm going to be pretty pink or red after this, I think. Huge thanks to the lead collection, not only for letting me drive that Veyron a few days ago, but for giving me this experience. It's not turned out like I thought, but it's a pretty special one, and these cars are very rare and very expensive. So just get a chance to be around one and then get behind the wheel of one, I'm very grateful for. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up if you have. Stay subscribed for plenty more videos to come.